Well, welcome back. A finale here from Quest Field in Seattle. Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. And I hear an echo in here, not just literally, but figuratively as well. Every single race down the stretch, we say anything can happen. And then something new happened that hadn't happened all year. Chad Reed goes down in the first turn. It looked like Kevin Windham had a golden opportunity to win. He gets a tough block caught in his bike. Anything that could happen this year has happened, Jim.
You think maybe we're jinxing it by saying anything can happen and will happen? I mean, who would have thought that Kevin Windham out front like that, going away, and with Chad Reed going down in the start like that, coming back, it was about lap 5, and all of a sudden we see the tough block cover in his rear wheel, and it stops him, it stalls the motor. He had the presence of mind to back the motorcycle up to get it out of the brake and out of the rear wheel, and then he had to come back, and, you know, what a ride Kevin Windham and Chad Reed put on, and Andrew Short as well. Andrew Short finished up third tonight. I thought for sure he was going to come away with his first win, but you know, like Villapoto said in the broadcast, it was a hell of a race.
It was, and I think for Short and Millsaps and Ferry, who had their shots earlier when Reed went down in the first turn and Windham had the tough block stuck in his rear wheel, in ordinary circumstances, one of those three might have won the race, but the championship on the line right now, Reed and Windham are just digging down a lot deeper than ordinarily they would have.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people talk about that, like, you know, hey, you got to dig deeper, you got to dig deeper. Well, we saw that tonight here, that Kevin Windham dug deep and Chad Reed dug deep, because like you had mentioned, you know, I thought at one time maybe Millsaps and Ferry, but they dropped off the pace. They were, you know, back there in 4th and 5th.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are stepping up. Now a 10-point gap between them heading into Vegas, which, again, you would think Chad Reed is safe, but the way this season has gone, who knows?
Don't jinx it.
Oh, no.
Don't jinx it, no. But, you know, that's why we race. And like we talk about it every weekend on the show that, you know, I mean, think about it. At one point, you know, Chad Reed had over a 35-point lead in this series. And for Kevin Windham to bring it down, I know that Kevin Windham's probably forgot about those races where when Chad finished 7th and he had his opportunities to win races and gain. I mean, just take 2 of those where he finished 3rd. And if he could have won those, they would have been tied going into Las Vegas. How good would that have been?
Yeah, absolutely. He can go back to a couple passes he couldn't make in Dallas, a couple passes he couldn't make in Minneapolis, who would have been tied. It was about the same gap coming into our finale of Lights West tonight. Jason Lawrence did not have to win the race to win the championship. Ryan Dungey had to win to try to maximize his opportunities. They both did that, and Lawrence comes out on top. He wins his first Supercross title, so well done.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned it for the Yamaha Troy guys. All the guys have worked hard over there. But you know what? I was really impressed with Dungey, the way he rode. And you know what? He didn't crash, and that was the thing that bothered him. I think by him riding the 450s in Indianapolis, Daytona, and having that second in Minnesota gave him a lot of confidence. And you know, I think that he rode well tonight. I mean, like you said, he had to do what he had to do. He went out and rode, and you know, see where everything else falls behind me. And unfortunately for him, the man who won the championship, Jason Lawrence, fell right behind him in that second spot, and he had a little bit of help. He had a little bit of a cushion with another Yamaha rider, Brock Hepler, right behind him in that 3rd place.
Right, so Lawrence holds on. He's your champ in the West. Trey Kennard, of course, your champ in the East, and we'll settle it one more time in Vegas. And Ryan Villapoto was on our show tonight in the webcast. He doesn't like Jason Lawrence, no doubt about it. He also doesn't like Trey Kennard, no doubt about it. Usually the champions struggle in the shootout for some odd reason, and the spoilers come up and win. This is going to be nuts next weekend.
Well, and there's a Toyota truck on the line, and you know, Ryan Villapoto is looking for a little redemption. I mean, he thought that that was his championship, and he thought that Trey Kennard was riding a little bit dirty. So if you don't have your tickets for Las Vegas, let me know a little secret. You better be there next weekend,
right,
May 3rd, to see. I mean, because it is going down in that East-West shootout, as well as the Supercross class.
Yeah, you wonder what could happen to Chad Reed. Well, we saw it in the very last lap. Chad Reed battling with Andrew Short, who's a Honda rider, and you know he wanted to finish second and help his team out. And he tried with everything he had. And 1 inch either direction, he could have knocked Chad Reed down, and this whole series could be upside down.
Well, and if you think about that, you know, like you said, if he knocked him down and Chad couldn't start the motorcycle or something, and Chad Reed finished, well, let's say he did lap a few people, so he would have probably got 5 points. Kevin Windham would have been leading the points and protecting the point lead going into Las Vegas next weekend. But I'm sure that, you know, Chad Reed, we had him on the show earlier, and he said, you know, we asked Andrew what he said, and he said, well, you know, what comes around goes around. But I don't think Chad Reed will retaliate in Las Vegas. There's bigger things on the table than try to redemption. And Chad's not riding the outdoors, so he can't get any redemption in the outdoors.
Buy our tickets for the U.S. Open then. How about that? That's the next time.
There you go, in Vegas, yeah.
And then we'll paint the lights riders and put them on the track with them at the same time. So Vegas, where it is at, be it for the finals, be it for the U.S. Open, be there. Supercrossonline.com or just unlvtickets.com and get your tickets live. We'll see you in Vegas, folks.